Italy are top of the table on 11 points. Ireland are second on 10 points. And the context is the top team qualifies automatically, the second team in the playoff. But the big context is last week or 2 weeks ago, Ireland, after 3 rounds, were top of the table. They had a away game against Norway. They had a home game against Italy. There were 6 points on the table. We only got 1 point out of the 6. And this is a major black mark against Stephen Kenny for me. He pulled Andrew Moran out of the under-21s, one of the top players, and he only gave him 15 minutes, 20 minutes in a Mickey Mouse friendly against New Zealand. And I'm opinion, we definitely would have drawn with Norway away, and I think we'd have beaten Italy at home. We conceded a goal in the 7 minutes of injury time. Yeah. We dropped 4 points in 2 matches. So if we had Andrew Moran, we don't know for definite, but we'd be 90% certain we would be on 14. Italy would be down a point in 10. We'd be 4 points clear, top of the table. We'd be nailed on for the playoff in second place, and we would have a great chance of topping the group automatically. So what are your thoughts on this? This, to me, is the biggest black mark I have against Stephen Kenny. As I said, a man who was under-21 manager before that, he's talking about the younger players. He has jeopardised this Irish team qualifying for a Euros under-21 tournament next summer. And we know there's good players coming through, but they would learn so much from that. This is the worst black mark against Stephen Kenny, in my opinion. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was very frustrating, Paul, watching there Tuesday night. They played so well against Italy. I think it was Sinclair Armstrong that got one of the goals, and Killian Phillips, I think, got the first goal. Italy equalised by a penalty. They got a goal there in the second half, and they had 1 or 2 half chances, Paul. They were doing very, very well, played very mature. Like, obviously, technically, Italy were probably the better team to pass the ball around a little bit more, but we defended really, really well, and it was just a sickener, absolute sickener the way the goal came. It was just a long ball in. The time was up, but it was over 20 or 30 seconds after. But look, it's at the referee's discretion, as we know. And, I think it's Ganacho, I think is how you pronounce his name from Italy. I think he used to play for Leeds United. I know if he's still there or not. I'm not direction on that. But he better on it. It's one of the Irish players trying to block it. I think it's actually going into the goalkeeper's hands if the Irish defender doesn't try and block it. And it hits off his shoulder, goes the opposite direction where the goalie's gone, and nesses right into the corner. And it's literally the last kick of the game, last piece of play, and it's just an absolute sickener. And look, it is frustrating. I'm sure Jim Crawford was absolutely, I won't say what I want to say, but to lose Andrew Moran, you're right. I think it was 3-2 in the end. The last thing is Norway. I think they conceded 2 late goals.
They were 2-1 up against Norway.
2-1 up.
20 minutes to go up.
Yeah, 2-1 up. They were really, really looking good. And unfortunately, they lost the game 3-2. Now even to get a draw out the game, Paul, to be honest with you. And then against Italy, I think they would have deserved it. I think the way they played. And it's just.
And of course, sorry for cutting across you. The 5 matches left, the 2 big games are away to Italy and away to Turkey. So there'll be 2 tough games. So now we're fighting, even though we're in second place at the moment, we need to get results to try and finish second.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah, we're going to have to win one of them, Paul. Probably looking more likely going to have to beat Turkey away. And I know they've only got 6 points, but that's going to be a hard game away from home, Paul. To be honest with you, and then Italy, I forget now. Is Italy the last game? I'm not sure, but we need to be in a fighting chance of second. When it gets to that Italy game, when it gets to that last game in the tournament, we need. Hopefully, by the time we get there, we might only need a draw to just secure second place to playoff. Look, first isn't out of our hands just yet, Paul. I would give us.
I know, but the point is, no, definitely. But I just want to. In my book, we've definitely lost 4 points, and Norway would be down on 6 points in because they wouldn't have got the win. They'd be 2 points lower. We'd be nailed on for second place at worst, and we'd have a great chance for fourth. Now we could still get in the top 2, of course. We could. Yeah. But it's, as the saying goes, we're under pressure now, and I think it's going forward. Because these young players coming through, and there is good young players coming through, but they would learn so much together at a tournament because a certain number will come through to senior level, but they would develop so much. And I just think Stephen Kenny, in my opinion, he really put everything in jeopardy, and we got nothing out of it. He only played more than for 15 minutes, and as a man says, a Mickey Mouse friendly against New Zealand.
Yeah, I think, I agree with you. I was totally agree with you there last week when we were talking about Andrew Moran not being in the under-21 team. I think even he could have been released for the game against Italy. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. I know he made a senior German's great and he's in around the senior squad. But that can happen later on, Paul. There's friendlies going to happen in March. There's the Nations League. Sorry. There's the Nations League. There's he's doing well in the championship. He's playing with senior players there. He's learning every week. They are Blackburn Rovers. He's on loan from Brighton. So I don't think there was any need. There was any rush. Like I'm sure he's itching to get into the senior squad as well. Like he's seen all these other players are a little bit older than him even get into the squad. But the importance he is to the Republic of Ireland Under 21 team is massive. I mean, as you said yourself, I think we do at least draw that game in Norway, and I think we do win that game against Italy in Turner's Cross. As you said yourself, we would have we've lost 4 points in that, Paul, because I think it's a frustrating one, Paul, because the Irish team have never qualified, I believe, for the European Championship at the level, and this is a huge chance for them to get there. I understand. Look, the under-21s is normally something that you do to develop players, and then when people seem to think they're ready to make it to the senior level, they are always most international levels, Paul, in every football team. When the senior manager wants the players, they normally jump at the chance to get into the senior squad. But for the importance, and particularly this situation we were in against Holland, it was a dead rubber of a game. We lost 1-0. It was a qualifying game where we had no hope of qualifying. We were just fulfilling the fixture, basically.
Yeah.
There was no real need.
And again, and of course, Noel, we all knew Stephen Kinney wasn't. If he had a 2-year extension, you could say okay, but we all knew 99% certain he would just sin out his term.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating thing. Yeah, that's probably a mistake on Kenny's part. In most people's view is that there was no need to take Andrew Moore now his own team. Let him get the experience of playing against big teams. To level at home as well, and against Norway.
And I believe Lone Cork, even though it was a very tight ground, but it was a great atmosphere. It was a red hot atmosphere. You know what I mean? So you get so much more of that. In my opinion.
Yeah, and he scored a great goal in one of the home games earlier on. I think it was against Turkey, I believe. They won 3-2. So that's all the good experience as well. And as we keep saying, he's playing week in, week out at Blackburn Rovers, but senior players. So there wasn't a need. Look, I can understand him in and on the squad, but the only way to justify his Paul is if he came on against Holland in at least a competitive game and play. The fact that he didn't come off the bench is, like, I know what people are saying, he got the experience going, travelling, and what the setup is like in senior level. But the reality is, Paul, Kenny's gone now. It's going to be different managers. It's going to be different tactics. It's going to be different team when he goes in there next time. So why not just start a clean slate when it happens in March, if there is a manager in place by then, or in the Nations League in September? Because they're going to be big games now next September, and we'll see then if he's able to step up to play senior level of international football. I think he is.
Yeah.
But there was no need to bring him in just now, because his importance to the under-21 team is massive.